So let's get started. Uh, my name is Dylan Nelson, and this is the Tarot Read Show. I was originally going to do this just as a podcast, but in this day and age, and with the ability to have video, I thought, why not actually show the cards, do all that. And I used to kind of be afraid to do a video sort of thing, and I don't know, I'm not anymore. So here we go. This show is just going to be basically each week. I might hop on other times, but I'm going to try and be consistent, hop on at least once a week kind of thing. But just essentially, I want to hop on, do a few readings of questions for people. If I happen to get people in the chat who want to hop on and talk to me live, then that'd be great. At the moment, I'm just getting questions. Went to Reddit. There's a tarot subreddit. You can submit that you want to do readings for people. I did that. Got a few people who wanted readings. So, one of them is a heavy one, and I'm gonna try and make this a pretty light show, but that's just how it goes, I guess. This is my philosophy on tarot. Is just that there's something to it, and when I'm giving a reading, I'm just going to say what the cards tell me, I guess. I might editorialize a bit, especially the more that this sort of thing goes on. People might want to get my opinion on things, totally understand that, but for starters especially, just so you guys can get a feel for how I do things too, I'm going to tell you what the cards say. And to anybody who might be watching, who might be thinking of submitting a question, I'm going to try and be kind. I want to be a person who gives grace to people. But also, again, I want this to be a fun show, too. The other half of the show, past answering questions, is going to be me trying to actually tell the future in a recordable way. But anyway, I'm just trying to say, if you're going to submit questions, I'll try to be very kind. I might make jokes here and there, but I will try and be as sincere as possible, give you an answer that the cards are telling me. But bear in mind, hopefully I'll have an audience at some point, and some of the things that the cards say might be funny, and they might kind of be, they might not be in your favor, and that's just how it goes. I'm going to do readings for myself, and I'm sure a lot of times the cards aren't going to be in favor for me. Just kind of how it is sometimes. And again, just sort of maybe to give you a tiny bit of background on me, I'm going to try and keep this fairly short because you guys don't know me. Why would you care too much about my background? But I've been doing tarot for about 5 or 6 years now. Is that how long ago COVID was? It was right near when COVID started. It was one of those COVID hobbies. We all had them. And I chose to do tarot readings for people on sites like Omegle and Chat Roulette. They just pair you up with random people on a webcam. So I was on a webcam back then, and sometime between then and now, I got scared about going on webcams again, and now here I am, back and able to do it. There was a time when I was getting on, doing readings for people very consistently. Did over 100 readings in that time, which maybe doesn't sound like a lot, but I was chatting to some of these people for 45 minutes, an hour, some of them for like 5 minutes. I only had 2 what I would call truly bad experiences where the person just did not care for me at all, which is fine. I'm sure that'll happen on here a lot too. But I mostly had good experiences, and even people telling me back then that I should try and maybe make money for this, doing this. And that, charging people for something that, like I said, I think there's something to it. That's sort of my thesis statement on tarot at the moment. I think there's something to it. But a lot of people really do come to you expecting you to kind of help them with their lives in ways that can be pretty big, which we'll get to with, like I said, with one of the questions that comes up today. It's a big question, and one that I do have my personal opinions on, for just personal advice that I would give this person. But they asked the cards, and that's the difficult thing about this is It can be difficult, but that's why I am trying to make this fun and not detach myself from what the readings say, because that can take away culpability. But at the same time, I want to be upfront with people that the cards, I'm going to interpret them how I read them. And if you want my personal opinion, that is an entirely separate thing that you can feel free to ask for, or that I might provide. And I will be sure to give clarification of what's personal opinion and what I'm reading from the cards. Because I do absolutely have a personal opinion on most of these matters. How could I not? I'm a human. But I think you guys come to an oracle. I don't think I'm an oracle, just a fun word to throw around. You come to somebody like that because you want the universe or something greater than a person to tell you what's up. And maybe through just random card draws, that's a way for the universe to talk to us. Maybe that's kind of all you need to know about how I feel about tarot in particular. I have had some very resonant readings that I took to heart. I have also had days where it just felt completely off, and like where I just was like, I probably shouldn't be doing this right now. And that's probably going to happen for some of these streams, which is, again, why I want this to be a fun thing. Because if this isn't fun, I'm probably not going to keep doing it. So, yeah, I keep saying, yeah, we all have our vocal tics. I'm going to be talking for hopefully 45 minutes to an hour, so they're going to show up a lot. But it is what it is. So, that was actually a quicker intro than I kind of expected to do, but I want to keep things moving along. I'll get more into my history too as things go on. I did host a podcast in the past where I reviewed animals. I have ideas for another podcast, kind of a Dungeons and Dragons sort of thing that I could maybe start doing at a certain point. But this is my tarot read podcast, and yeah, we're going to read some tarot. Like I said, each episode I want to do like 3 questions kind of spread out through the episodes that people submit, just to get a traditional tarot experience. And then past that, I want to come up with segments for the other half of this show, past the giving advice, hearing things from the universe. A lot of people believe that tarot can be used to tell the future. It seems to be what a lot of media focuses on with tarot, and for good reason, just because if you could tell the future, that would be pretty sweet. And I've always been somebody who's been into paranormal. The paranormal. Back when I was a kid, my first job that I wanted to be after thinking archaeologists actually went through caves and ran from boulders and punched Nazis. Great hobby, punching Nazis, gotta love it. Once I realized that's not what archaeologists do in the real world, I started just getting into the more paranormal aspects of the archaeology game that Indiana Jones was trying to sell back in the day. Unfortunately, not a real game for the most part. I'll say for the most part, you never know. If that Holy Grail's out there, I'd give it a drink. Probably get some weird ancient bacteria more than eternal life, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. Anyway, this is going to be a thing too where I completely lose track of what I was talking about, but now I remember. A lot of people think that you can use tarot to tell the future, and back in the day, I did get a tarot deck because I was trying to study the paranormal in all its capacities. I wanted to be a paranormalist, was what I called it. They had the term paranormal investigator back then, but I always said I wanted to be a paranormalist because I came up with that word, and it just means the same thing in my mind. And yeah, I got my first tarot deck probably around 12 or 13 at a Barnes & Noble's. Just my mom would take me there, and we could buy gifts sometimes, a book or something. And I always go right to the New Age section, which I always thought was code word for paranormal, but I think is actually more code word for like Wiccan. which is, you know, back then I probably would have avoided it if I'd known that, just because that, I was somebody back then who probably would have cared about a little bit about, shopping in the girly witch section. But that is where I really cultivated a pretty big love for all things paranormal, spiritual, alien. Just reading that little section. Also, this Reader's Digest book that I'm going to try and find that just had hundreds of clippings of paranormal like stories, like this pair of green twins who was found in a cave in like Kentucky or Tennessee or something. Always made me think of the Jolly Green Giant. I was always into that stuff, so I was always into tarot, and the idea that tarot can tell the future is interesting and I think worth investigating. And that's gonna kind of be the other half of this show, is my interest and love for all things paranormal. Why not do some paranormal testing myself? And I don't know, mostly from what I understand about tarot, past readings, like I don't know if people try to use it to communicate with the dead, but if they do, I will maybe give that a shot. But for now, the most paranormal aspect of tarot, past its ability to give insights into yourself, is its potential to tell the future. So I have two, I'm trying to come up with multiple little segment ideas, but just a couple little tests of possibly the future or predictive powers of tarot. Maybe not the future powers, future predicting for all of them, but for sure for some of them. Like the very first thing I'm going to do at the top of every episode after an intro is I want to sort of start a diary of predictions for specific days in the future. Just for fun. Why not? We'll do a reading for a specific day. I'm thinking I'll just do like, I was going to do 6 months from now, but why not make it a bit closer, far enough out that there's still some randomness to it, but close enough that it's also, we're going to get there soon. So yeah, how about 3 months out? I'll do a reading for that specific day. And as far as that reading goes, I'll do a personal reading so I can keep a kind of personal diary. And I will also do a world reading, a reading of some kind to show what's going to be going on in the world. And these are going to be pretty vague readings. I might try to get more specific in the future, but just for now, because this is my first stream too, I'm keeping things easy, giving myself an easy workload, and I'm not going to overthink it. So these are going to be fairly vague, maybe predictions, depending on what the cards are. I might get ambitious. I don't know. But 3 months out from now, June, July, August. August 24th. I guess I could have just known that without going to the calendar. But yeah, let's do a reading for August 24th. And just see how this goes. And as far as how my whole setup goes here, I do have my cards. This is 3 decks that I've got at the moment. I'm probably going to get more for sure, but they are also in order of the one I use the most to the one I use the least. The third one is actually a new deck that I got that's essentially just... I'm putting it on here because they are good for learning. They are essentially flashcards, and if you're looking to buy them, they were like $12, I think, and they tell you what they mean. They give you a little breakdown, and I've always been somebody who reads tarot more visually, not really using the traditional meanings of them. But I do believe that the best way to tackle tarot is to have a mix of both of those things, of the traditional meanings and your own personal vibes that you're getting from each card. And that's kind of the funny thing, is the vibes you'll get from cards will change from question to question, person to person. A card for me that I draw for one person is not going to mean the same thing for the next. That was my reason for, in the past, never actually trying to learn the actual meanings of the cards, because I wanted to just go off of the visual interpretations. But I do nowadays think that there is something to a combination of both. So, yeah, I got these to kind of teach myself, and also just because I think, for you guys out there, maybe you'll find it interesting too to actually have those sorts of references. My actual deck that I use the most is going to be I think Creatures of the Night deck. I don't remember what it's exactly called, but it's just, it's got animals, which podcasts that I used to do was reviewing animals. I've always had felt a stronger connection to animals than people in general for most of my life. So I tried to get cards to resonate with me. If you can spy the cats in the background of my video, you might get the idea too that I like cats. I used to have a cat deck that I was using for most of COVID, and I lost it in a move somewhere. Hopefully I will find it. If I do, that'll probably be my main deck. But for now, the animal deck. And that's going to be the one that I use for most of my actual readings. I will use the other decks for the segment sorts of readings, just the more fun ones. And the middle deck that you saw there, the red one, is a bit more strange. It's actually a deck for based on pulp novels. Anybody who's familiar with tarot has probably seen it on Amazon though. But just they all look like the covers of books that you might have picked up on a shelf for 10 cents, kind of thing. Just kind of cool. They caught my eye. I definitely I like pop culture decks when I see them. There aren't a lot of good ones from what I've seen, at least not that are worth the price that they want you to pay for a poor soul like me. But they're cool, and I want to get more decks like that in the future. For now, yeah, I've got the Pulp Tarot, and I will be using that one, like I said, for just the less serious ones, the more of the fun readings. So let me clear off my board here. This is my whiteboard that I got set up for just this purpose, for readings. And yeah, like I said, okay, 20 minutes in. The show is just getting started. Kind of expected that though. Have to get some housekeeping up front for sure. But now, yeah, let's do the show. First reading for every episode is going to be a personal reading for me for the future. I was originally going to maybe do like a sort of thing of I'll do a one card reading at the top to get a feel for how the show's going to go kind of thing. And I bet you most or some tarot podcasts have already done that. Some tarot podcasts may already be doing this too. I feel like it's an irresponsible thing that I'm doing here to possibly show the truth that tarot isn't going to tell the future. But hey, people would be able to argue that maybe that skepticism is what's going to keep me from telling the future. I truly feel like I have an open mind and like I can open myself to things like that. So I am hopeful that some of these cards, and please, feel free to help me out when those days come, when August 24th rolls around. Please feel free if you realize something that these cards resonate with. You won't understand on a personal level maybe, unless things get creepy and you really keep track of me. You start catching things in my own life that I don't know about myself. You know what? If that's true, if that's you, definitely let me know. I would love to know that somebody's stalking me, so I could take the proper precautions. But you might actually, the normal people out there might be able to catch things out in the world that happen, that relate to cards that I draw, that I might not catch. I'm going to be keeping an eagle eye on the news on these days. Hopefully I will catch them, but you never know. So, now, how I go about drawing my cards, I do kind of trust the universe to put them in an order. A lot of people, what I used to do was fan them out, feel across, I kind of get I don't know how to describe it, get a sort of warm, fuzzy feeling in my head when I feel like it's time for me to draw. And I would sort of run my fingers over the cards, until I got that little feeling. And then, yeah, that was how I used to draw. Some people like to basically cut the deck into a few piles and then essentially draw that way. For how I view tarot, I view it as a communication with the universe, and the universe is full of so much randomness that it will make the things that are supposed to happen if that's how the universe works. If tarot works, then I can put these into a single pile, shuffle, a few times, and all of the times that I've shuffled in the past, all of the cuts I've done, every shuffling, everything I've done should be leading up to the cards being in the right position. Not because of fate necessarily or anything like that, but just because that's my intention, is for these cards, for me to draw them in the right order to be relevant. That being said, sometimes it is just more fun to not draw them all from the top and to kind of, pick and choose. For today, again, I'm taking my easy road. And I'm going to just draw all three from the top once I get that feeling that the cards are in the right place. And I feel like I'm getting close to that. How this reading will go, the card that I put in the first spot will be a general vibe for me of the day. Then cards 2 and 3, sorry, I had to write this down so that I would not forget it. Cards 2 and 3 are going to be for some specific things about me. I might do one card for my love life at that time and one for my finances. I might do one for a relationship with a family member and then a career, that kind of thing. So just it's going to change week to week what I'm asking about. I'm going to try and come up with other things to ask about too that might be even more specific. But yeah, just pretty straightforward. Gonna know pretty easily if these are good things or bad things that are on my way. So again, we got general vibe of the day. How about, you know what? I'm trying to date. Let's do love life. And I don't expect any financial windfalls or anything, but let's do finances because health questions scare me. All right. So what is the general vibe going to be for the day? What is my love life going to be like? And what are my finances going to be like? Feels right. All right. So now, again, the way that I tend to do my readings is very visually. At the moment, off of the top of my head, I don't really know what any of these cards represent based on their actual meanings. And I just want to say, if you're a tarot reader or you want to be a tarot reader, that is I believe, valid way to approach things. But some people probably feel like that's wrong, that you do have to go with what the actual meanings are. Again, I'm trying to do a hybrid now, which I think is how most people go about things. So yeah, I would say this is general vibe of the day is gonna be contentious, maybe. I have like a little cheat sheet here that the actual meanings of this card is battles and an opponent. My first vibe, though, for this card, just personally looking at it, is kind of, breaking out of the sea, going over the sword, but also when you're coming out of the water, you are putting yourself in more danger than when you're in it. So for this card, maybe the vibe I should have is to pick my battle. The middle card is very sad for a love life reading, but honestly, does ring kind of true for just how I've been for most of the past few years. I have been very had a lot of solitude, and the Hermit is definitely if I believe it's a major arcana card. I know that for sure, but I believe it is exactly what you'd expect, kind of about taking solitude and taking time for yourself. And it's not a bad card. I said it's kind of sad for me. I only say that because I'm trying to date again. It's not a bad card, really. It doesn't have to be, for sure. And in my mind, this spider, it seems like it's in a sort of dead place, but I doubt that it's having a tough time. So, love life, I'm going to say it's not exactly going to be blooming, but, I'm kind of used to that. Finances, the Nine of Wands. See, and this is another one. I'm not going to look at my cheat sheet yet for what that actually typically means, but this looks like a guy who's kind of, taking precautions. He's got that fox out there watching, but the fox ain't going to come up to him because he's got his barriers up, and just in general, porcupine's prickly. I can't really tell. Is he protecting food? No, I think that's just a rock. So, yeah, I would say financially, man, this is all one big spread of just hunker down. Kind of be cautious in general, which I think, does ring true actually for just maybe all of our futures coming up. Vibes are bad. But yeah, that's sort of what I'm getting for this is I'm going to want to play it safe that day. Might make a reminder in my phone to just not pick any troubles. Thankfully, I won't be going to work that day. It's a weekend, Sunday. So, I can just hang out at home. Keep it chill. All right. So, that is essentially how this will go. And the next reading is going to go ahead and, go ahead. Those are going to be some more of my filler words. Go ahead. The next reading is going to be more of a world reading. How is the world going to be on this day? And this is something that you guys will be able to assess as well, along with me. I'll check in on the, I'll try and remember to rewatch this. I'll for sure pull up the cards, but I'll watch the clip too, I'm sure. And I will try and be as honest as possible. My hope is that I'm wrong as shit and I've got a girlfriend and I'm rich then. But I have a feeling things aren't going to change that fast. So let's keep it tempered and actually be excited about the possibility that we just told the future. Kind of cool. But now time to tell the world's future. And this, again, I'm not going to get into politics on here, but I have a grim view of where the world is going with the people we have in charge at the moment. I'll leave it at that. So if these cards are all happy and bubbly and feeling good, brilliant. God, I hope that's the case. I'm not expecting that, but for this reading, I'm going to also do a vibe card drawing, just a card for the general vibe of the day, for the world. And then one card is going to be a visual representation of something that happens that day. And one card, I'm going to ask about something more specific. I'm just going to ask about a movie. Entertainment news? Is there going to be what sort of big entertainment news might happen? I don't know what the card could possibly say that might lead to some entertainment news, but I'm giving it a go. I'm throwing everything I have at the wall, seeing what pasta sticks, what's ready and what's not. So let's just see how this goes too. Shuffle till you're ready. And when I put the cards back in from the last drawing, I just put them in randomly into the deck. You could put them all on top. I'm not as good of a shuffler, but hey, according to my philosophy, it should still work even if you do that. I have to be ready for people to come at me with things like that. Well, yeah, you should just put them all back in together because according to your philosophy, the deck will just become random enough to blah, 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 blah. And I'm smart and you're dumb and I like to make that known to people in the comments. I'm just shuffling now. Got to fill time somehow, even if it's just babbling. All right. Does this feel right? Okay. Once again, number one is the vibe. Another spider. Interesting. Up next, a visual representation of something from that day. The Lovers. Middle card was the major arcana both times. And then third, some sort of big entertainment news from that day. Four of Swords. And see, this is where I knew I'd have trouble. I have no idea how I'm going to interpret that. Maybe an actor turning down a big project or something. But I don't know what that card actually means based on old interpretations, so we'll see. For starters, Seven of Pentacles. Again, another spider, interesting, and arachnids abound, actually, from the scorpions there. For the general vibe of the day, Black Widow, I'm just not getting good vibes on these guys. Black Widows are those are the pentacles. I almost think of them as egg sacs was my first impression, and sometimes you do go with your first impression. A general vibe of the day, poison, something bad, not a good day. What is the Seven of Pentacles? The traditional meaning of it is potential for success. So if you want to go with the traditional meaning, then it's, I can see how they're going for that vibe, because to a spider, this is a good spot. He's set up. He's ready for all the bugs to come in. I keep saying she's ready for all the bugs to come in. So if I try and split the difference of this, then I would say that maybe what this card represents is good for the few, bad for the many. Which is always true of a spider, because they can have a million little nets in their nest, their web, and they're just feeding themselves. So, yeah. The Lovers. So this is a visual representation of something that's going to happen, and I'm getting a medical vibe from this, even though it's the Lovers, just those entwined snakes there. I mean, obviously, the scorpions make a heart, too. I think Lovers is a positive card in my connotation. But again, I wanted a visual representation. So I think something... I think there might be some bad medicine on the horizon. Maybe good medicine, but the vibe of the day is bad. Good for the few and bad for the many. I'm not going to sound another pandemic horn or anything, but we've been hearing about measles outbreaks. We've been hearing about outbreaks. I wonder if some bad outbreak is going to happen. And then, again, for the Four of Swords, before I look at its traditional meaning, again, maybe an actor going into hibernation. Maybe we'll find out that somebody's retiring that day. Buried under logs. So what is the Four of Swords traditionally? We'd be looking at rest. So, okay. So, the traditional meaning for me, I vibed with that pretty easily. Maybe somebody is going into retirement or taking a break from acting or something. That's something that happens, and it's a simple prediction. Hell, yeah, let's go with that. Keep it simple. And there you go. I'm going to try to do 2 readings like that at the top of every show. And again, now this will kind of serve as just a personal diary of how things are going too. Why not? Because then once we reach the 3-month mark, I will start talking about my day, and it will be like keeping a diary. So that's good for me too. And I don't have kids. Don't know that I will have kids, but if I ever do, they might want to watch that. Excuse me. Okay, let's move on. I'm already, almost 40 minutes in. Typically, I feel like I would be about 15-20 minutes in now. So I think I'm doing all right time-wise. This was always probably going to be a bit longer. First things first, we're going to do a reading for a guy who I reached out on Reddit looking for people who wanted to do readings. Pretty simple. Let's just do his reading. Pull up his question here. And yeah, I've got 3 questions. Easy question, a difficult question, and medium interesting question that I'm going to combine with the segment for the end of the show. So easy question first. The difficult question that I talked about at the top of the show coming up after a segment. This guy had a very basic question, perfect for the first episode of a tarot reading podcast, because this is something that every tarot reader is going to get. So if you're watching this hoping to maybe learn about doing tarot reading, yeah, be ready for a lot of questions about people's exes and if they will be getting back together with them. That's something I'm almost positive the reason why I got back into tarot from being a little kid who bought a pack and dealt with it a little bit. The reason I got back into it at pandemic was for sure because of dating woes and general things like that. Maybe pining after an ex. I don't remember exactly at the time. But it makes sense that this is the kind of question you'll get a lot. And once I have more choices for questions, I probably won't come to these ones quite as often, but especially if somebody pleads a compelling case, I will happily do a love reading for them. Now, this is more a question of should they reach out to their ex who they have no contact with. I'm not going to make fun of people's misspellings. There's a lot of misspellings coming up. It's fine. I'm just going to try to read it as accurately as I can, doing correction along the way. So let's just, let's be nice about that. Unless there's if there's a funny one, then obviously we'll take a minute, we'll laugh. We're not laughing at them though. If you accidentally said I was bawling my eyes out, it spelled it with 2 A's, and it's like, you don't have balls in your eyes. That's funny. We're all going to laugh at that. Just things like that. Maybe if you're going to submit something, try to spell stuff right, but I know how to read. I'm an adult. So, should I reach out to my ex I'm in no contact with? Will she be open to talking to me about getting back together? I'm sorry, I made this, it's perfectly fine sized on my screen, but it's a little graphic-y because of my whole setup here. Would she be open to talking and getting back together? That is basically 3 questions that I can just do 1 card each for. Should I reach out to my ex? Will she be open to talking? Will she be open to getting back together? And I feel like we should almost answer those in a certain order. Because if she's not going to be open to talking, then obviously you probably shouldn't reach out to her. If she's not open to getting back together, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't reach out to her, as long as you're okay with just being friends or with, not having your feelings reconciled, not having them feel the same way. But let's just, let's do 3-card reading. You know what? Let's do a 3-card reading. I was just going to say, let's do it one at a time and build up to should they, but no, let's do a 3-card reading. We'll ask all 3 of these. It might be, who knows? We'll see how it goes. I don't want to be pessimistic. By pessimistic, I mean pessimistic about my own ability to interpret this weird question that I'm asking. Sometimes interpreting weird questions with a picture on a card can be difficult. Go figure. So, should I reach out to my ex? Will she be open to talking? Will she be open to getting back together? So, you know what? That is a fine first question. Should I reach out to my ex? All right. Okay. Should I reach out to my ex that I'm no contact with? Card 1. Don't worry, I'll bring it up here soon. Will she be open to talking to me? Will she be open to getting back together? And this is also the danger of doing tarot readings, just in that, like I said at the top, sometimes my personal opinions and what the cards say don't align. This is sort of one of those cases, just because I think for your ex's benefit, it's best to not necessarily reach out to them in earnest about reconnecting on that level. But you did ask first if she would be open to talking to you. And I mean, for starters, should I reach out to my ex? We pulled the sun. And I don't like to assume, but the term cougar does typically refer to a woman. And I'm seeing a cougar, maybe mountain lion here, but my first impression is cougar, woman. And the sun is from what I remember of the major arcana, it is also a good card in general. I think of a sun as rising. Obviously, it can set too. But I see this as a good vibes card as far as reaching out to her goes, funnily enough. But that doesn't mean necessarily that she'll be interested in getting back together. Second card, will she? Well, actually, what is the traditional meaning of the sun card, just for everybody here? Growth and recovery. All right. Yeah, combined with my thoughts there, you might be able to mend some old fences, if nothing else. Maybe not get back together, but maybe you guys will be able to reconcile some differences that you had back in the day. Second card, the question of would you be open to talking? With this card, I see someone, busy bees, and bees do communicate. In fact, they dance to communicate. They're fun little guys. I see this as a pretty good sign too, just in general, just of community, working together. I think that as far as what should be open to communication, that's what this card feels like to me, is communication. And maybe in a different reading, I wouldn't say that, but for this reading, that's definitely what I'm feeling. And what is the traditional reading? Pentacles are a lot of time about like wealth, money, achievements, all that kind of stuff. And this card in particular, it says inheritance, good business, and marriage. Let's not read into that too much, buddy. Okay, let's have some temperance to steal a major arcana card. Let's not jump to conclusions. But for the Three of Cups, would she be open to getting back together? I see. I mean, if I had drawn the Lovers again, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I'd have to say yes. But for this, these three raccoons, cups are more of an emotional kind of, and relationships. It's a good sign for sure. But none of these raccoons are, arguably the top two are sharing a cup. But this is more of a friendly gathering in my estimation. But overall, entirely, this seems like a good spread. This feels like kind of what this guy might have been hoping to hear. And I am a people pleaser. I like to think that our energy does impact the cards, and I hope that I'm just not trying to make this guy's day, and that's what these cards are about. But yeah, all in all, I don't know if that guy is going to watch this. I'm just going to send him a breakdown of the cards I drew and my interpretation of them. But yeah, I think he's going to be happy with this reading, and I will be. Oh man, if he gets back to me and he's like, "Yeah, I reached out to her. Thanks, dude. It went horribly. We're never talking again." Yeah, get the fuck off YouTube. I could see that happening, but hopefully, actually, it works out. I like to be optimistic, so let's just fingers crossed that guy's gonna have the day he wants. And put these cards back in the old deck. There are some good cards too, so you want them in there. All right. So, like I said, after each reading for a person out there, I do want to do a segment. Only going to be doing one segment technically this episode because I'm combining a segment with a reading for the very last one that I'm doing. And hell, that may just be what I always end up doing because for that last reading, somebody wants an interpretation of their cards that they drew themselves. I'm going to do that. I'm also going to do my own drawing for them, and then just kind of a comparison. And my original segment idea was just, what was I going to call it? I had such a clever portmanteau of a name. Comparo. Compare and tarot together. Comparo. So that's what we're going to do for the last segment. But right now, doing a little something that I'm calling Terre Roulette. You love those portmanteaus, right? Those of you who don't know, portmanteau. Shove two words together, whether you like it or not, and they make one word. Terre Roulette. How this works, it sounds maybe a bit darker than it seems, just because my first, actually, for some reason, my first association with roulette is not the roulette wheel, but Russian roulette. Not because I've ever played it, but just that's where my mind goes. I've never done real roulette. But yeah, this is nothing so dark, and it's actually the reason why I did an entertainment card drawing for my Future of the World drawing was because this is a sort of entertainment game, and game, strong word again. We're trying to show that predictions can happen, and this isn't predicting the future. This is trying to predict the right now of a random celebrity, basically, that's going to come up on a website I found that will do a random celebrity. I'll just bring one up randomly and actually bring up 8, but we're gonna pick we're gonna shoot for a random one, and I'll do a 3-card drawing before we randomize the options. I'll do a 3-card drawing for the general vibe of the person. I say the word vibe a lot. It's sort of the closest word I can think of to what I'm doing, the general spiritual attunement of the person, if you like, just kind of who they are. And hopefully in one card we'll get a feel for who the person is going to be. And then I want the 2 other cards to kind of be a visual, just a representation of what makes the person that person. And it could mean a visual representation of, like, if we're getting a celebrity, maybe visual representation of movies that they've been in or things that they've done, or we're going to go with the traditional interpretation of the cards too, and maybe those will be where they align with these celebrities. And this is another thing where people who view this, nobody's watching now, people who view this in the future, you might catch little connections that I'm not privy to or aware of, because I don't want to take the time after drawing these cards. If it's a celebrity I don't really know, I don't want to do a reroll. I'll try to read the cards as best I can, but I'm not going to know how accurate I am. Like if it's Diane Lane, I know the name, but I'm not going to be able to be like, oh yeah, this is clearly about her movie where she rode horses, but somebody else might. And that's why we keep all this on record, and why I'm not afraid to be embarrassed about being wrong. So let's do it. I'm going to use the pulp tarot cards that I mentioned earlier, just for funsies. And this is my deck that I will probably tend to use for funsies. And I will keep this deck to that kind of, which to get into my spirituality and what I believe about all this stuff. I do want to keep the fun energy to this deck, the real energy to this deck. I don't really know what I'm going to use this deck for, but maybe education, learning energy. I do think that there's energy out there in the world that you can do stuff with and tap into. So, yeah, this is my fun, more pop culture deck, because this is kind of pop tarot what I'm doing, if that's even a term. For sure, it's not taking itself seriously. I'm certainly not taking myself seriously. So you shouldn't either. Yeah, let's roll. So, like I said, I've got this website here. Let's see if it's still pulled up. All right, perfect. It's going to bring up 8 celebrities, and all I'm going to do is roll a dice. Of course, it brought up an ad. That's fine. Let me interact with that. Get out of here, ad. Yeah. So I'm going to hit this little button here in a minute that'll refresh that. For now, it's got, like, I see Simon Cowell on there. I think, is that George Lucas on the bottom? I don't know. I'm going to roll a dice. I only have a 6-sided dice, but that's going to tell us, you can see we've got 8 people. It'll tell us which number we're shooting for in the next, when I pull up the random people. Let's just roll. And we are looking for the first person. I was about to say we're not just going to go with the first person, but we are just going to go with the first person. So, hey, that's how the universe works sometimes. Let's do it. All right. Let me take away this because I think it slows down things while it's up. So, general vibe of the person, and then visual or just emotional, sort of vibes again of the person. Visual or emotional representation of their career, what they're known for. Yes, not their vibes. First card, vibes. Second and third card, what they're known for, what we'll recognize them for, what they will be known for until the bitter end. Let's do this. All right. General vibe of the person. I feel like it might be a woman. Maybe even a race car driver. That'd be kind of cool. Visual or emotional representation of the person. Huh. Okay. Cool. And another visual or emotional representation of this person. Now, originally when I came up with this spread, I did have a sort of intention of the second card being for something earlier in their career and the third card being something maybe more recent. So that might be a way to kind of look at this a bit closer, but let's have a look-see. So, Chariot, obviously a major arcana card that's, I believe, is about forward momentum. I'll go off of my own personal thoughts of what this particular version means. And again, we got 2 women in these cards here. 2 women leading up to a third card that, what do we have there? Is that, I mean, could be a man or a woman there. I think maybe it's supposed to be possibly a vague. But yeah, I'm going to predict a woman. This is a strong prediction here, because if I'm wrong immediately, I hope they at least have feminine vibes. But I'm also going to say somebody constantly moving forward, making progress. I think this is a person who definitely had a moment or is having a moment. We're looking for vibes, and by vibes I do mean across their whole career. So I think this is somebody who's just constantly had kind of forward momentum, that people dig. And I don't get the sense that this is going to be a person who people dislike, truly. What is the traditional meaning of the chariot? Progress and determination. I thought so. So yeah, that's the general vibe I'm getting for this person. Now, visual representations. Maybe this person broke some barriers. Just from this card being old timey, I obviously get vibes of like, interracial couple kind of thing. That feels a bit on the nose, maybe. That is the first vibe though that I got, was this person maybe breaks barriers. Cups again, emotional sort of suit. I think this is a good vibes card. I get the sense that if we're going for early career, for sure, beloved. Swords can be, for this next one, could be a bit rougher for what this person is. Let's look at what the Two of Cups traditionally represents. Partnerships. Okay, so hell, maybe this is somebody who's who teams up with specific people, like filmmakers have their actors and actresses, that kind of thing. Who knows? We'll know soon. The last card, Ten of Swords. This looks, or Eight of Swords, right? It's hard for me to read. Eight of Swords. Looks ominous. Maybe this person's career is on a downswing now. I want to look at what the actual meaning for this one. Restriction. Yeah, maybe this is somebody who's always had forward momentum until suddenly something stopped them. Something came up. They don't have that forward momentum anymore. But I don't think that they're entirely in the doldrums or anything. I get general, for the most part, good career vibes for this person, for the most part. But maybe more recently, things haven't always gone their way. That feels pretty general. I don't know. Not super specific, but hey, let's see what the number one spot is when we refresh this. Dun 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 dun. Leonardo da Vinci. A man who many say may be the Mona Lisa himself, actually. Feminine vibes that can certainly track for him. Breaking barriers, like I said. I don't know how his life ended. Did he die young? Did he die violently? I don't know. That could account for the Eight of Swords there. If the Eight of Swords does represent restriction, though, he was very much a guy who was unrestricted. So kind of conflicting there. Partnerships. My vibe with Leonardo da Vinci, and I don't want to say this is what's bleeding into a reading possibly for him. My biggest association with Leonardo da Vinci, because of Assassin's Creed 2 as a kid, was him as my buddy in Assassin's Creed 2, making me weapons and stuff. So the Two of Cups representing partnerships. Maybe this is my personal connection with Leonardo da Vinci. I don't know, but for sure the Chariot. The guy tried to invent flying machines, for God's sake. I feel totally solid with this reading, even though I predicted a woman. I feel very solid with this reading. I'm just gonna leave it there. All right. Successful segment. All right. Perfect. And we're right about at the hour mark now, and I had 2 more readings I wanted to do, so I suspect maybe another 20 minutes, and then yeah, first episode done. Okay. The next reading is going to be again. Okay, so maybe I will just only do this reading and then stop for the night. We'll see how I feel after this. Again, this is a more serious reading than the last one. It asks a big question that people typically leave to their family, their friends, loved ones, doctors, but then a lot of times those people don't tell us what we want to hear. So we start to look for other avenues of people to tell us what we want to hear. And that's a good slot for psychics to fill, unfortunately. And I don't want to fill that slot for anyone. I don't want to promote bad or harmful behavior, but I also am not going to pretend that I know what's best for people who I've never met before. So with all that said, I'm going to do a reading for this person, and the cards will say what they'll say, and I will leave it at that. I'm not going to editorialize a whole bunch. So maybe this will be a short one, just because I don't think this person necessarily wants me to editorialize a bunch anyway. It's another person who I'll probably just type out my reading and send it their way. And wish them luck. So let's read it. Gonna have to make it bigger, and again, spelling errors abound. And I will say, this is going to come up over and over. This could be AI? Some of the ways that it spells things wrong, I don't know if they're typical of AI, but this could be AI. It's gonna happen, I'm sure. Until I hope I can get some more verification of real people and get questions from real people for sure in the future. But I'm gonna approach this like it's a real person. So let's just do that and do this reading. Hello. If you can give me some guidance, I would be more than grateful. I believe I need some guidance. Not sure if you can help me though. I am pregnant with our 4th child. I am a divorced mom with 3 kids, being with a new partner for the last few months. He has a child of his own. We are happy. The financial situation is not very well. He is 43, I'm 35. I know this looks irresponsible, but we are so confused what to do now. My sister's truly against it. She's even rude about it. I did not say anything to my mom yet, but my sister believes she can fall sick if she knew what I'm considering. I am lost. I see pictures of my baby girl in my head. Took many cards in the last few days. And I am even more confused. Oh, drawn cards for herself. Gotcha. Realized I should maybe have my face on here. I need someone to tell me something. Anything. How bad is it? Is it meant to be? Should I take so deeply the fact my family would not support me at all? Am I irresponsible to my kids as I think about my 4th child while struggling in a way? And technically 5th child because her husband does have a child already. She's only 7 days pregnant. She has up to the 7th week. Cannot think or hear my intuition at all. Which is perfectly fair in that situation. I imagine probably some panicking going on. I would, to editorialize a bit, I would say if you have 7 weeks, you can take a beat, calm down. Don't. Obviously, saying don't stress is a very stupid thing to throw out there in the situation, but you do have time, and I wouldn't put it off for long at all, but, something to think about. That you do something to think about. It's not the filler words I need right there. It's not something to think. It is something to think about. This decision is. I think there's a lot of reasons to listen to what your sister's saying and about how your mom would feel. But again, I am going to leave this one to the cards. And let's just see what they say. Now, how do I do a drawing for something like this? For essentially, should I get an abortion? I suppose her other questions involved her family not supporting her, and that's a fair question. Whether she means financially or just in general as a whole, I don't know, but it's a fair question for sure. gosh, I should have come up with the spread for this before I hopped on here. Uh, how do you suss out whether this is the right decision to make? Well, I guess we'll just tackle it in 3 cards like I have been. I don't feel like it's responsible to just do a yes or no card. Like, should you not? Maybe we take a look at card 1 for how it will affect your life personally, card 2 for how it will affect your finances, and card 3 for how it will connect for how it will affect your personal close relationships. So, need my pen here. So we got you personally, personal, financially, because that's a big one, and then support network, basically. How will they truly react? Because people can say, we're not going to stick by you, but they might. So if you did decide to keep the child, then this is the spread for if you did decide to keep it. I was about to say, if you decide to keep it, this is what will happen. I in no way ever would say that I can tell the future, or even that you should follow the advice of anything that I say on here. Throw that disclaimer out now. I just, if you want to follow the cards, then that is on you. I am merely here to tell you what they said. There. All right. So, 3-card draw. Personal, financial, and support network. How would having this child affect you in those ways? Take on me, take me on, take on me. All right. Personal. Financial. And support network. Okay. Well, this particular spread is actually not unoptimistic in general, I don't think. I mean, so how it would affect you personally, I think you probably know this. You would emotionally be pretty fulfilled. You would obviously like it. You already know that this is what you want. So this was maybe a silly card to try and draw, but basically, I think you know that you would enjoy this, possibly to the detriment of those around you, is what I'll say about that. As far as financially, the star, I don't know what this one means, just off the top of my head as far as the actual definition. My first instinct, though, deer are kind of, I think of them as wandering, skittish, but maybe this star is guiding its way, in a sense. Financially, I think this means that you would figure it out, not necessarily that it would be easy. But just that you would figure it out. And then Knight of Wands. I get bad vibes from this guy. It makes me feel cautious and like somebody who, like, if you who I'm doing the reading for, if you are the, I don't know if this is a honey badger or a wolverine maybe. If you are them, then you are going to be scrapping and scraping, and you'll probably be doing you might be doing more on your own than you're used to, as far as these kids go, maybe. The traditional meaning for this guy is speed and an offer. Huh. I don't know necessarily how to parlay that meaning into the idea of a support network. Maybe just that your life would become very transactional with your relationships, in a sense. And yeah, that's I would say very deeply consider your financial situation and your family's advice. Before you do add another kid to your family, consider how your other kids would feel if you do have the time for all this. That would be all of my personal advice. But the cards say that even if things might be tough, it will make you happy and you'll make it work. But I don't think that's necessarily a reason to bring another kid into the world. But hey, you didn't ask me that. You asked me what the card said, and that is what they said. All right. Yeah. I have enough time, I think, for this final segment that I wanted to do, especially considering it's not really necessarily a segment. I mean, it's not necessarily a full reading kind of thing. Like I said, one more question. But for this question, the guy did do a reading for himself. Like in the last question, you saw the lady said that she drew cards and herself. She didn't tell me what they were, but she did. People do that all the time. And some people hop on Reddit and are like, hey, can you tell me what these cards I drew mean? For me, I feel like typically, no, I can't, because you are the one who drew them. The cards are trying to speak to you. Your brain's different than mine. You're going to interpret things different. I'm probably not going to be able to interpret your cards as well as I'd be able to interpret mine. But, I also, this is a good maybe excuse for me to, kind of, I'm teaching myself and also kind of teach you guys. When I'm recreating the draws that these people send me, I can put out using these cards that have the actual definitions and stuff. So just kind of like a learning thing too, on this portion of this segment of the show that we call, I already forgot the brilliant name, Comparo, that we call Comparo. Just a moment. I am absolutely not used to talking this much. My throat is going to be killing me tomorrow. Let us see here. Our final question. Hi. I asked if I passed my big exam coming up. If you can tell which month, I would appreciate it. That part of this question confuses me. Because I failed for the first time, and should I start a business this year? Or will I fail and lose my money? Thank you very much. These are the cards I drew. The 7 of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, the 4 of Wands, and the Page of Swords. My interpretation, I think I will not pass the exam. I will have to take several more terms to pass, and the business will spill out all of my money, and I will lose. And off the top of my head, I don't know if that's what that drawing says. I also have no idea what kind of spread this guy was using to draw 5 cards to answer those 2 questions. Got no idea what this guy, what his intentions were, what each of these cards and each of these spots might mean. But I did go ahead and pull those cards. And I will lay them out right now. Let's see here. Just keep that open. So we got the 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, and of course, I accidentally just grabbed the Seven of Wands. So, just got to grab the Seven of Pentacles real quick. I'm keeping these guys in like little Ziploc bags of each of their suits, just so that the suits stay together, and they're easier to use basically as flashcards. You know, trying to be smart about this. There we go. All right. Smarter than drawing the wrong card. Okay. So again, we have the Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Ten of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Page of Swords. And yeah, you can see kind of cool. They've got yeses and nos on them, which is they've got yeses and nos on them, which is helpful. They got a bunch of little information on there. Like I said, for $12, I was gonna make my own flashcard kind of things, but these are perfect if you're trying to get into tarot. Very, very just simple. The card material isn't the best, but yeah, I like them, you know, for what they are. I'm not going to tell you the name of them and stuff because this isn't an advertising thing, but you can find them easy enough. Anyway, that is what this guy drew, and I'm not going to, I shouldn't have even laid those out yet because I wanted to do my own drawing before I really got into what that guy had going for him. So, yeah, I am going to basically, I keep saying basically, I'm going to do my own drawing. I'm going to try and mimic this guy's drawing. Whatever the hell this guy did with his drawing. I'm going to draw 5 cards. And if I was going to do this reading just with 5 cards the way I would do it, I guess whether he'll pass his exam is an easy yes or no kind of thing. If you can tell which month, I would appreciate it. So is this the thing? It seems like this guy can take this exam multiple times, and he wants to know when he'll pass. I'm just going to breeze by that because I don't know how to give him a specific date. I guess I can say, so maybe card 1, what we'll do is how far out? Near or far, basically. Near or far for pass. I gotta write this stuff down because otherwise I will forget the things that I just said 2 minutes ago. So near or far for the passing of his exam, and then will he pass for the second card. All right. Now his business seems like a much bigger question, so we'll do 3 cards for that. Should I start a business, or will I fail and lose my money? So how about we do kind of what we did with the last reading of we'll ask if you do try to start your business, how will that go? Right, on the assumption that you are starting your business. Yeah, will it go well? Let's just do a general vibes check for the first card. Good vibes, bad vibes for starting a business. Then a finances. And then how about a vibes, finances, and just how will your life in general, how will things go just in your life if you do start this business? Will it be good things, bad things? Let's find out. All right, because my voice is, oh my god, my throat is killing me, weirdly. So, yeah, before I interpret his cards using my little spread that I literally just came up with right now, I will do the spread myself and just do that interpretation, and then I will see how it compares to his. Yeah, wouldn't it be great if I just drew the exact same cards? And then wouldn't that just prove that psychics are real, tarot is real, and then I don't have to do the show anymore? I mean, if I prove that tarot really works and psychics are real, then everybody would probably be doing it, So let's see. Huh? That would be pretty dope. The thing about these cards is they are bigger than those other cards, so they're probably not all going to fit on the screen at the same time. So let's do this as 2 separate readings. The first one for the passing or failing the test. And will it be near or far? Yeah, getting a little foggy up there. So that's how you can tell when you've done too much tarot, is your brain starts to feel a little foggy. But I definitely got enough juice for these this last one. All right. So rain so far away. I just ran. The rain's on 15K. Just to get away. Just to get away. Okay. There we go. All right. So, will this be something that happens soon or in the far out for you passing this exam? And will you pass? So, what we got here is the Ace of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. Going off of looks, let's make this guy a bit bigger. Ace of Pentacles, we got an owl. Man, that would have been a great one to draw for the second one, because owls for me a lot of time represent knowledge. I will say swords do tend to represent the mind. For an owl, I think of them as being not slow and they're actually pretty fast when they swoop in, but I think of them as observing their prey from afar, taking their time in a sense, but once they know they're ready, that's when they swoop in. And it seems like you don't know that you're ready for this test quite yet. You seem to be filled with a lot of worry and trepidation. And I think both of these animals are ones that benefit from their ability to watch and wait and act when the time is right. So, will you pass it soon? I don't think this is saying that necessarily. I think it's saying you will pass once you know the time is right, and you will feel it when the time is right. Is the sense I get from these cards. Seven of Swords, another card that I don't know what it means, its traditional meaning, but for Panthers again, this is the card determining whether you pass or not. I see this as a strong, content kind of leader. A lot of the times the swords are about intellect. They're about the mind, and that's why this is a good card to draw for this kind of question. I think you have good things in store for your tests that are coming up. I'm not saying you're going to pass it the first time. I am saying you're going to pass it in the perceivable future. The reachable future, before things are so bad that you just can't maybe afford to do it anymore, or whatever might be limiting your ability to stay there forever. Yeah. I think this is a good read. Let's see what the actual typical meanings are. For the Ace of Pentacles, that is money, success, and beginnings. And for the Seven of Swords, we have theft. Interesting. I did not get that vibe necessarily from that card, but that is funny. Maybe you're going to feel like you didn't earn it. I actually get that sense from you, maybe, that maybe your confidence could use some juice. I think that you might feel some imposter syndrome here, but I think you're going to do fine. You're going to get this. Maybe not right away, but you will. And then, all right, the next reading, the business. If you do start the business, how will it go? First card will be vibes, basically. Will it be smooth going, easy listening? Let's find out. And I was just going to keep drawing based on the last draw, but I accidentally cut it. So now let's shuffle again a little bit till it feels right. Oh, so right. All right. There we go. There we go. That's that feeling. Vibes of your business. Oh. Sometimes cards will keep coming up. Sometimes it's coincidence. Pentacles are a good sign, and we actually already knew that this was a... I don't remember exactly what this card represents, but I remember it being good on a financial level. So, that's general vibes, but for the finances part, buddy, I mean, come on. We're looking at the King of Pentacles. You're not just the Pentacles. That's the King of Pentacles, all right? And now for life in general. Truly, not bad. I actually think this guy is going to be pretty happy with the spread. And again, I kind of wonder the way energies work, if me having positive vibes and associations are why these cards drawings are coming out so well. But yeah, for vibes, Seven of Pentacles, especially now that I know it's a good thing, like thinking of it from a business perspective, if you are that spider and the flies and the people are your customers, then absolutely this is you again, I'm glancing at it now, this is potential for success. You could have something good on your hands. And the King of Pentacles, for finances, like it's always very cool when the actual suits exactly line up with the kind of question you're asking. And that is why, again, my general thesis for tarot is there's something to it. King of Pentacles, in particular, is a dependable man. Your finance, in relation to your finances, what does that tell you, man? That means you'll be able to be somebody that people can rely on. As far as your life in general, the High Priestess is good. Has more feminine vibes, but that's good for a guy too. Before I look at its actual definition, yeah, I sense someone who, I mean, bats, they go out at night, they maybe have somewhat chaotic lives, but that's not the bat that's showing here. This is a fairly comfortable, relaxed bat, and self-assured bat. As for what the card typically means, secrets, intuition, and learning. Yeah, this will be a lot of learning in this part of your life, but I think that in the end this is a pretty good reading. I think when I send this along to that guy, I hope that it gives him a boost he needs, because that is a nice little reading there. And as far as how it compares to his drawing, that's maybe kind of what could be the interesting part here. I'm assuming that he did give me the accurate drawing order for his cards. And let's just pretend that the universe knew that I was going to be interpreting his cards. And we'll pretend that it did tailor them to me. Yeah. So I'm going to read the cards based on how I would interpret them. And let's see here. His first two cards he drew were the... let's just pull that up again real quick. Seven of Pentacles and Eight of Wands. Make sure I got the right ones. Yes. And this was in regards to his test. Reading his... see, now this is where I'm making things more difficult for myself. The Pentacles, like I said, more about finances. Wands, maybe more of a spiritual kind of thing. Seven of Wands, Eight of Wands, sorry. For that guy, news that's tough one to interpret. And the Seven of Pentacles, potential for success. So actually, this does kind of line up with him wondering about passing a test, if we're talking about potential for success, and then maybe the news is that he will pass. Yeah, this segment might be getting a retooling in the future because the small images on these cards, with the ones that are surrounded by the words, makes it throw me off a little. But and also these tarot cards, they are from the original. They're called Rider-Waite tarot cards. They are the medieval tarot cards that you see in all the movies and stuff. And I don't love them. I find them a bit inscrutable and hard to interpret. So that is why I am very much struggling right now to try to figure out where he was coming from, where this guy thought that this portended some kind of disaster, because I don't see it as being actually terrible, based on the traditional interpretations and even based off of just looking at them. It's a guy looking at a bunch of stars and literally just 8 sticks. And if you look at 8 sticks and you're like, yeah, I'm screwed, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what you're seeing. I'm not seeing it. But it's also just not bad. It represents news. Or here, let's see what it says on this card, because I'm looking at a book. But on the card it says speed, rapid action, movement, swift change, manifesting quickly, quick decisions, air travel. Air travel. Either way, I don't think this is bad, and actually that kind of seems good. So don't know what this guy is doing as far as interpreting his own cards, but let's take a look at the back half. Make sure I get the order right. 10 of Wands, 4 of Wands, and a Page of Swords. All right, and now if we use my spread for this one, for vibes, 10 of Wands. That 10 of Wands, I know, I literally just read this. If you get that, you're kind of supposed to scrap the whole thing, maybe. Like, just means it's sort of like when you do the Magic 8 Ball and it says ask again later. That's kind of can be what the 10 of Wands does to a reading. I don't know why exactly. I'm sure I'll catch on with the more I do this, but like in the book, it says a burden. Then I can totally see that. That's what it looks like. That guy's having trouble with his sticks. Sticks, they cause all kinds of trouble. Gosh, can't live with them, right? 4 of Wands, looks like that one typically represents a holiday. And for the relation to finances, I can totally see how the first card being about burden, how that would very much align with his fears of the business failing, for sure. The second card, though, just looking at it, it actually looks pretty upbeat to me. I almost feel like it almost has like a celebration kind of vibe to it. So I would say in regards to finances, that's almost a good one. And then his life in general, Page of Swords. Let's see, that guy, gossip and contracts, really. Looking at this, I see a competent dude. And this is, again, why I find these cards inscrutable. It's literally just a dude holding a sword. There's really not a whole lot to take from the image itself, which is why let's see what it says on the card. New ideas, curious, thirst for knowledge, new ways of communicating, restless mental energy. All right. Yeah. Seems like an ambitious entrepreneur to me. This, other than the burden, which if you're going to start a business and you're not expecting a burden, I don't know what to tell you, brother. You should not be starting a business. everything else seems perfectly fine to me. I do not know where this negative reading came from, but I think this guy truly just needs to be a bit nicer to himself. Don't be so hard on yourself, buddy. Like, we all have days, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay. This definitely went on for longer than I wanted, but about an hour and a half was what I had plotted out for the high end of how long this should be. So, yeah, we just about did it. If anybody has any questions for me, post this stream. I did not have any viewers at all during it, which is perfectly fine by me for a first stream. No pressure is fine by me. But if you watch it, if you got through it and you want to know more, if you listen to the podcast that I'm planning on putting out, please feel free to reach out to me at tarotreadpod@gmail.com or send me a private message if you can here on YouTube. I'm assuming I'll try and check the comments of the videos that I put up, all that kind of stuff. Got the hiccups now. Find me on Blue Sky. I believe I just made it Tarot Read Show. And yeah, this has been the Tarot Read Show. I hope that you guys tune in. I hope that this keeps going well. I had a lot of fun with this, so if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, do all the stuff, and look out for the Tarot Read podcast that I'm planning on putting out here soon too, assuming that I can get decent audio from this video. Yeah, I appreciate you guys watching and wish you the best of luck out there. Send your questions my way.